It's 17:30 GMT. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. I am Umaru Sandamadu. Tonight I'm here with
Eno Safo.
And coming up over the next 90 minutes.
President Mahama must immediately dismiss Dr. Hannah Louisa Bissiw from her position as CEO of the Minerals Development Fund and Malik Basintale from his role as acting CEO of the Youth Employment Agency.
Minority in Parliament demands the dismissal of key government appointees over the Ablekuma North election violence. We'll be telling you more on what is contained in their demand. Also, coming up, Attorney General directs the Economic and Organized Crimes Office, IOCO, to investigate 2 NDC executives over allegations that they are involved in Galamsey.
In line with the national stance and pursuant to your mandate, I am directing your office to invite the following persons named in recent credible media reports for interrogation, namely Mr. Yakubu Abanga and Mr. Joseph Yamin.
And later on Eyewitness News, state-owned oil company Goil slips to second position in the market, running behind Star Oil on a day that the 1 CD D-levy or Doomsor levy is set to take effect. Stay with 97.3 Citi FM for more on this and many other stories on Eyewitness News. And in business,
government assures reliable power as ENI upgrades boosts industrial support.
That's in 50 minutes from the Citi Business Desk. Eyewitness News is live across Ghana on a number of affiliate stations, including in the Western region on Beach 105.5 FM, Sky 93.5 FM, and other stations, all of them based in Takrady. In the Bono region, we are on Greener FM 95.9 in Sunyani. In Ahafo region, on Hames Radio 106.5 in Gosu. In Ashanti region, in Kumasi on Focus 94.3 FM and Orange 107.9 FM. In Volta region, we are in Tajevu on Revival 99.3 FM. In Northern region, we are in Bimbila on Radio Bimbila 91.9 FM. In Upper East, we are on Mike 105.3 FM in Navrongo. And in Upper West, we are on Tongsun 97.3 FM in Wa and Jirapa FM 96.1 based in Jirapa. We're live on YouTube and live on Facebook. We are also interactive. Join us with your messages 0549 986 996. Or you can go on Twitter, now known as X, and drop your messages by mentioning my handle at Umaru Sanda or at Citi973. We start off with Parliament, and Eno has our first story.
The minority in Parliament is calling for the immediate dismissal of the Chief Executive Officer of the Youth Employment Agency, Malik Basintale, and the Administrator of the Minerals Development Fund, Dr. Hannah Bissiw Kote, for allegedly endorsing violence during the Ablekuma North election rerun. The caucus says the justification of acts of violence against opposition party members emboldens lawlessness and sends a dangerous signal that such behavior will be tolerated under the Mahama administration. Addressing the media, Member of Parliament for Atiwa West, Laurette Kokwa-Asante, stated that retaining both appointees in their positions suggests that the Mahama government condones political violence.
The president cannot remain silent while members of his government celebrate violence against opposition figures. Dr. Hannah Bissiw and Malik Basintale have disqualified themselves from holding public office through their inflammatory and violence-endorsing statements. His decision will define his legacy and determine whether Ghana continues on the path of democratic governance or slides towards the normalization of political violence. The international community is watching. Ghana's development partners are watching. Most importantly, the Ghanaian people are watching to see whether their president will defend democracy or protect those who attack the political parties or journalists or regular citizens. The minority caucus demands the following actions: the immediate dismissal of violence-endorsing officials. President Mahama must immediately dismiss Dr. Hannah Louisa Bissiw from her position as CEO of the Minerals Development Fund and Malik Basintale from his role as acting CEO of the Youth Employment Agency. Their celebration and justification of violence against opposition figures disqualifies them from holding any public office. This dismissal must happen to demonstrate that the government does not condone political violence. All individuals involved in the Ablekuma violence must be arrested and prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. The police must provide daily updates on their investigation and arrest. There can be no impunity for those who attack a democratic process. The Ghana Police Service must conduct a thorough investigation into their security failures, including the alleged role of Chief Superintendent Lumor Frederick Sunanu. Any officers found to be complicit in the Ablekuma North violence must face immediate dismissal and criminal prosecution. President Mahama must publicly condemn the Ablekuma North violence and personally apologize to Honorable Mavis Hawakumsun, Nanekwe Friye, and all victims of the violent attacks. His statement must be unequivocal and without any qualification or justification for the violence. To the people of Ablekuma North and the Ghanaian people, do not allow these acts of intimidation to silence your voice. Your vote is your power, and you must exercise it without fear. Ghana's democracy depends on your courage to stand up to those who would steal your constitutional rights through violence.
You heard Member of Parliament for Etiwa West, Laurette Koko Asante.
This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. We are coming to you from our studios in Accra, and you heard the Member of Parliament for Etiwa West, Laurette Koko Asante. She's one who has replaced the former Minister for Roads in that particular constituency. And the call is that the two officers of the NDC and also of government be sacked. Malik Basintali, who is a national officer of the NDC and also CEO of the Youth Employment Agency, as well as Dr. Hannah Louisa Bissiw Kote, who is the administrator of the Minerals Development Fund. They are making the call for the two of them to be removed from office. Let me go on the phone and speak to Dr. Hannah Louisa Bissiw. She's National Women's Organizer, NDC, and administrator of the Minerals Development Fund. Doc, good evening and welcome to Eyewitness News.
Good evening. Thank you.
I spoke to you on Face-to-Face yesterday. You made some... I spoke to you on TV last night on Face-to-Face. You stated your position on what happened in Ablekuma North. It appears your comments around Hawakumsin in particular has not... The dust has not settled on that. Now, the minority in Parliament called a press conference today, and that press conference was addressed by the Member of Parliament for Etiwa West, Laurette Koko Asante. She says yourself and Malik Basintali ought to be removed from your positions because you have endorsed violence. What do you say?
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It's laughing, actually. I'm sorry. I mean, to your listeners, to your viewers, I'm sorry, but trust me, I think it's the biggest joke of the day. I want to, I don't even have to respond to them. I don't think what they did deserves. So I didn't really listen. I only saw some headline news and I laughed over it. We are focused on the work, and I want to reiterate here that nobody can force me to sympathize with a woman who hit me when I was pregnant in Parliament. And nobody can also twist my hands and my emotions. I'm not a hypocrite. That by force I have to sympathize with the one who shot, said she shot, and she was a member of Parliament and a minister. The one whose constituency, a candidate, Nakoyo, was beaten, a party executive was shot, killed in her constituency. MPCs were beaten to pulp. That is their own. That is her own. Now, this same woman, 31st January, 2019, Legon Polling Station B led acts. She led it. Asked me directly when she got to my polling center, "How you doing here? Are you the one when you're on radio and TV are talking nonsense? Who can go see us?" Excuse my French, I'm just quoting that. Director that they should beat me, I was beaten. When the police succeeded in putting me in my car, I was being beaten, being dragged out of my car. What saved me was the change of cars, because the majority of them ran, including her, to the black car that they thought I came with, because that's what I used in the morning. But by the grace of God, I changed to Prado. Honorable Amate, Lejukuku from MC, was beaten because he was there with the wife, and he tried to intervene. Because when they realized I was being taken to the opposite direction, they ran back. It was like a movie. But for God, I've done belong time RIP, or probably with some disability. And with the greatest respect to our families, people living with disability. So that this woman goes and receives a beating, and somebody wants me to sympathize with her. I have said it.
But you see, because you're a state official.
No, please. When she was doing that, excuse my French, nonsense, was she not a state official? When she led the tax to me to come and beat me, did I deserve it? What sort of thing is this? Who told them that they are from space? Or she's from space? Did I organize a beating? No. Do I sympathize with her? No. Do I? And I said, when I was talking to her, I said, look, I want to put on record, I've always said that any form of violence, I condemn. I condemn domestic violence. I condemn car violence, road violence, electoral violence. Any form of violence, I condemn.
But violence against Hawa you will not.
Look, am I her PRO? That's number one. Did I give birth to her? I'm the woman's talking right now. The woman that you are interviewing right now, I was attacked by her when I was carrying my baby. Pregnant woman. She came out to say she was sorry, zero. When she led the tax to come and beat me. And Honorable Amate's wife was also beaten. You can go Honorable Amate. Call him. His wife was also beaten because he came there with the wife and was trying to protect me.
So simply put, you are going nowhere. You are not going to resign, and you are not going to even encourage anybody to.
Oh, please! I've not even heard them. I'm talking to you out of respect for your station and viewers, not because you saw the press conference. No. And nobody. I mean, you cannot treat somebody's emotions and tell me by force you have to come and say because I have to please them. No, I'm sorry. We are focused. We are working. There's a lot to it. There's a lot to put in place.
Very well.
And we are really focused. I'm sure Malik is also focused. Your producer called me, and I really have to show respect.
We appreciate you for that.
And saying I'll say something, but it's not because I've even given thought to it. My position still stands. I condemn violence, and nobody can ask me. A woman who has put so many people to suffer, somebody dead, and me myself, I'm a direct victim. Then you come, and are we under some sort of, I don't know what, like some, I love you guys for being our homeland Ghana and make us all strong.
Amen. Thank you so much for speaking to us, Doc. That's Dr. Hannah Louisa Bissiw Kote. She's National Women's Organizer of the NDC and Administrator of the Minerals Development Fund. She and Malik Basintale, who is CEO of YEA, are the two whose names the minority in Parliament today mentioned, saying that they should be sacked from government over what they may or may not have done or said in relation to the Ablekuma North election violence. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. We'll be back with more. Please stay.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Still unbeatable. Republic Bank has slashed the Citi mortgage interest rate to a new low. That means it's more affordable to own your dream home. You enjoy lower monthly installments, save on interest payments, flexible loan arrangements, and more. Make the move. Own your home at a lower teen interest rate. But hurry, this offer lasts for a limited time. Visit any Republic Bank branch or send email to myhome@republicghana.com or call Accra 054-0109-649, Kumasi 054-0109-901 to apply today and enjoy a teen interest rate. Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Hot pepper powder. Loco shoe. This advert is FDA approved.
Oh, jump on now.
Go. Google me. At what time when you come back where I don't hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car?
No, I not change my car. It be the same ride. It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, so.
This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir.
Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mind said be the 3-in-1 action. No, Excellium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open them.
Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, then make a finish my go be fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why you have my go be inside?
I give you info. Make a feel the go be too small.
Go.
Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
You're welcome back. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Now, the minority in Parliament, again, has criticized the government's implementation of the 1 cedi hike in fuel, describing it as deceitful. You do know that the Doomsday levy was passed, but it was staggered. The implementation was staggered or suspended at least twice. And today we are told it has taken effect. So for every liter of fuel you pay an extra 1 cedi. The government says it's using that to solve the energy sector crisis. The Honorable Kojo Nkrumah is a staunch critic of the levy. He's ranking member of the Economic Committee of Parliament and the MP for Ofasia Yerebi. He's joined us on the line. Honorable, you're welcome to Eyewitness News. Now, the House of Parliament has approved it. It is law. The government has suspended it for a while. Today, it takes effect. You are still sticking by your position that it shouldn't have become a law at all in the first place, and that this levy should not have gone to Ghanaians.
Yes, we continue to, and a good evening to you and to your listeners. We continue to encourage the government to drop this levy. And the reasons that we gave several weeks ago when they first smuggled it through, which reasons they dismissed, are gradually bearing themselves out. You will recall that the government told us that the introduction of this levy will not lead to an increase in fuel prices. In fact, the energy minister is on record on the floor of Parliament, going at length explaining that it takes only a smart, innovative government to introduce a levy that will not increase prices at the pumps. And you recall that we drew their attention that their math was bad, and that if you introduce this 8% levy, prices could go up by average about 8%. And today, even after they suspended it a number of times, you are beginning to observe that as they are introducing the levy, fuel prices are going to go up by that 8% that we mentioned. We also then drew their attention to the fact that this is a time when because of our collective efforts, the Ghanaians should be enjoying a lot more relief because of the appreciation of the Ghana cedi. So it is unfair to the people of Ghana that at this time, when Ghanaians should be enjoying relief, the government claws back a bit of that relief by introducing this levy. Number 3, we drew their attention to the fact that the rate was quite exorbitant. Even some of the other levies that they themselves had criticized were somewhere around 1%. This is 8%. And number 4, we mentioned the fact that you do not have control over fuel prices. Anything can happen to cause a further escalation. And when that escalation comes, it will further compound the cost of fuel, the cost of transportation, and then gradually the general cost of living. Those reasons that we outlined are now beginning to bear themselves out, and that's why we continue to encourage the government to drop this levy.
Okay, but something must give, and that 1 cedi is what has to give for the reprieve that we need as a nation. That's the argument of the government.
That argument, again, has been proven to be false. You recall that initially the government said that there was a debt that they needed to go and pay. Later, they then came around and admitted that essentially what they are doing is that they are looking for money to buy fuel to fire up the plants. And we have said that what must give is a renegotiation of the PPAs that caused the government to have to buy fuel apart from the tariffs. You can renegotiate those PPAs and require the power producer to buy his own fuel and factor it into the power purchase agreement. If you put the fuel outside, it's like an off-book transaction. That is when you would now have to require the finance minister to write a check for you to buy fuel. And that is why we encourage them to renegotiate. A couple of weeks ago, the Minister for Energy came to Parliament and admitted that he was then going to pay more attention to the renegotiation on the floor of Parliament, on record. So if you are going to renegotiate, which is what you should do, then why do you still need the levy? So nothing has to give apart from the renegotiation at this point in time. Additionally, Sandra, we have mentioned as a caucus that if you look at the levies on fuel now, it's edging to about 25 to 30% of the cost of fuel. Some of these levies have outlived their usefulness. Very soon, the minority will come out with a full policy document that shows the various levies that have outlived their usefulness. We encourage the government to do the analysis. It doesn't appear they have done it. We have done it, and we'll share it with the government and the people of Ghana that there are too many levies on fuel. Now is the time for these levies to be removed and not to be increased.
Before you go, because we are talking about fuel, yesterday the president announced that he's cancelling fuel or free fuel for officials, government officials. You have served in government before, and you do know the importance of these provisions for government appointees. How, I don't know, in your estimation, should we marry that essential duties of a public officer versus the cost saving that the government claims it is doing? Would you have advised this should happen?
Sometimes I get disappointed at how we swallow everything the government throws without interrogating it a bit more. If I saw what the government put out, they said we're going to cancel fuel allowance. Was that what they said?
Yes, that's what they said.
So I think the first question must be, who actually gets fuel allowance as a government appointee? And you, our colleagues as journalists, you can check that. It doesn't need to be an NPP and DC matter. You can check that from the paymaster to find out whether or not government officials, ministers, for example, get fuel allowance. It's a matter that you can check. Then you come to the question of, so if people don't get a fuel allowance, what are they supposedly removing?
One of the ways to check, Honorable, is to ask someone who has once been a minister of state to ask, how does this thing work? So
what ends up happening is that it becomes an NPP and DC matter. I want you to check for yourself, as a matter of fact, is it true that ministers, for example, get fuel allowance? If it is not true, then what is the government saying they are removing? Another question, is it true that official government vehicles are fueled by government, just like how official vehicles of any entity are fueled by that entity? If that is true, then this new policy that they are introducing, are they saying that they are cancelling that? Or in essence, what is going to happen is that there are no fuel allowances, but they throw a kite in the air and people will believe it and clap that, oh, they've removed fuel allowance. When in reality, what exists is that official vehicles are fueled by the owning entity. And that will still remain. It will not be cancelled. I think that some more interrogation needs to be done of some of these things that are known, and then it doesn't become an MPP NDC matter. I don't want to be drawn into it. I think what the government has been announcing should be properly interrogated.
Okay, I'm not going to ask you to go into MPP NDC, but I just want to ask information. When you were once Minister for Information, who were the government officials that were qualified to be given fuel by the state? Was it all ministers? Was it staffers? Was it DCs? How did this work in the past?
I was a member of Parliament / Minister of State. When you're a member of Parliament / Minister of State, you don't get paid in the Akufo-Addo administration. You don't get paid 1 Ghana cedi extra apart from your parliamentary salary. You fuel your own vehicle. You don't get paid even a salary or an allowance. You fuel your own vehicle. You rely on your parliamentary salary. That was the rule in the Akufo-Addo tenure. If during another dispensation, somebody says there's some allowance that needs to be cancelled, I think that person should be asked to provide some further and better particulars on what they are talking about. What I can speak about as an MP minister in the Akufo-Addo era, I lived in my own house. I used my own vehicle. I bought my own fuel. I wasn't entitled even to 1 Ghana cedi extra as a Minister of State. It was not like the previous administration where ministers were paid as Ministers of State and then also took salaries as members of Parliament. That's what led to what they call the double salary saga. On our watch, that didn't happen. So if on the watch of this administration, they say there's a fuel allowance that has to be removed, I think that you, our colleagues in journalism and in civil society, should interrogate it some more.
Okay, just one more question for education purposes. I am not familiar with how the Jubilee House operates, but I do know that when I'm entering the castle, which used to be the seat of government, there's a fuel station on the left. I've been told that's where government vehicles go to load up. So who are some of the people who go to load up fuel there for free then, if it is not ministers of state?
I wouldn't know that. I never used that. I didn't work from the Jubilee House. I worked from the Ministry of Information, later worked at the Ministry of Works and Housing. I never used any of those facilities. I don't know the people who are qualified to use that facility.
All right, thank you. Well, indulge me one more. I noticed you've brought a private member's bill to Parliament, and you are saying that there should be some amendment to the Public Financial Management Act. Please share with us what are you proposing?
That one I'm very happy to speak about. Today, if you
I
look
gave
at
you
the
one, so you give me one. It's fair.
Today, if you look at the Public Financial Management Act, there's a gap in the law. If you look at the legal architecture of the management of public funds, Article 36(5) requires anybody who has been elected as president to cause to be drafted what you call the Coordinated Policy of Social and Economic Program. So that's the 4-year medium-term program drawn out of your manifesto. The NDPC Act, the Planning Systems Act, Act 480, requires every ministry, department, and agency to have a strategic plan, which is connected to the national plan. And then if you look at the legislative instrument on planning, it requires your strategic plans to be certified. And then the PFM, the architecture of the PFM essentially is that when your plan is connected to the national plan, we can give you money to execute it. Today we have ministries, departments, and agencies that do not have plans that are certified by NDPC. The boards and sometimes the ministers and the CEOs have their own vision of something they want to do. Some want to build new headquarters, some want to do something else. But it is not something that the National Development Plan is sanctioning. But it's still a use of public funds, and they still get money from the finance minister, or sometimes they use IGF to pursue this. The private members' bill that I have submitted to the Speaker essentially seeks to, 1, bar the finance minister from funding any ministry, department, or agency that has not certified their plans but wants money to go and spend on their own. 2, bars the heads of institutions from using IGF if their plan is not certified by NDPC. The certification of the plan is the stamp of authority that connects whatever thing you want to do at your ministry, department, or agency to the national development agenda. Else, one of the gaps we have is that people spend money on other things that don't conform to where the country wants to go. And so this private members bill that I've submitted seeks to block that loophole and protect the public purse. If you're going to spend money, it must be money that is connected to a program which is locked into the National Development Plan. If not, it will be an offense to give you money or for you to spend money.
Has it been admitted, or you are still planning to table it?
No, so I have now submitted it to the Office of the Speaker through the Clerk of Parliament. They will then minute it and then send it to what we call the Committee on Private Members Bill, which committee will invite myself and those who are supporting me on the bill to make a representation. And then once it clears their committee, once that committee report is ready, then I'll be allowed to lay it on the floor of Parliament. So now it's not only government that can lay bills. I would then, as a private member, be allowed to lay it, have it debated, voted upon, and if Parliament accepts it, it becomes law, and the President will have to assent to it for it to amend the Public Financial Management Act. I believe in all humility that it is one of the ways by which we can tighten some of the loopholes that we have around us.
I know one of the key thresholds that you have to meet in laying a private member's bill to make sure that it will not be a cost to the state, or the state will not incur costs with the passage of that law. Based on what you are planning to do, which is to tweak what the law currently is on financial management, do you not think that there will be either a loss of money in one way or the other that the state would say amounts to a cost to the state, for which reason the Speaker or whoever is presiding may shoot you down?
To the contrary, I believe that it will rather save money in the public purse. It will rather retain money in the consolidated fund. This is not one of the bills that is asking government to spend money to do something, which would then be interpreted as, in the constitutional language, they say imposing a charge on the consolidated fund. This is a bill that rather seeks to keep money in the consolidated fund or preserve money in the consolidated fund until such a time that your plan is certified. And I'm hopeful that a purposive interpretation will be given to that question when it comes up, whether or not it will amount to a charge on the consolidation, on the consolidated fund.
Thank you so much for speaking to us, sir.
Chana, thank you so much.
That's Honorable Kojo Ponkrumah. He is NPP Member of Parliament for Fuasia Yerebi. He is also ranking member of the Economy Committee. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Let's talk about illegal mining.
The Attorney General and Minister for Justice, Dr. Dominic Ayine, has directed the Economic and Organised Crime Office to launch a full-scale investigation into alleged illegal mining activities involving Joseph Yamin, the ruling NDC's national organizer, and Yakubu Abanga, national vice chairman. The directive follows rising public concern, intelligence assessments, and extensive media coverage of illegal mining, which continues to threaten Ghana's water bodies, forest reserves, and rural livelihoods. In a letter issued yesterday, the Attorney General instructed IOCO to invite the two individuals named in recent reports for interrogation over their suspected involvement in unauthorized mining operations, commonly referred to as galamsey. Dr. Ayine also asked IOCO to broaden its probe to cover other persons found complicit, with special attention to issues raised in the Prof. Frimpong-Boateng report on illegal mining.
Let's go on the phone lines and speak to Daryl Bosso. He's Deputy Director of Arucha, Ghana. Sir, you're welcome to Eyewitness News. I don't know what you make of this decision by the Attorney General to ask for a probe. You are someone who's been in the conservation space. Would you say that this is some commitment that the government is showing to conserving our environment?
Good evening to you, Sanda, and I'm very happy to be here. We really welcome this news because, as you know, we have had issues with politically exposed persons interfering in the work of law enforcement agencies when it comes to issues of galamsey. A lot of the impunity we see on the ground is because these persons work behind the law enforcement agencies, get on the ground, and even push their own people to go into the field and into the pits to do mining. So if the Attorney General sees that some persons connected to government are really engage or allegedly engage in illegal mining, then there's a need to really probe, as you have indicated. I mean, what we really want to see is that it doesn't just stop there. They really get to the bottom of this. Otherwise, it's just going to be a charade that people will not have confidence in the system anymore. I mean, we reported some time back through the Ghana Commission Against Galamsey the need to investigate people like the Dunkwao and also assisting constituency chairpersons of the NDC. There's also been alleged involvement of the MP of our wing also in illegal mining activities, and then also the NDC constituency chairperson for Inegini. So I think that it's about time. I see this possibly as an action by the government to really make sure that they get some scapegoat to teach people who are at the grassroots level that, look, we have zero tolerance for Galamsey, and they must really see to the end of this. Otherwise, it's just be a waste of time.
You have also called for a state of emergency or a national emergency. Talk to us about that in the mining area.
Well, I think that I don't know why we should all be very excited about this, because as the state of emergency, the state or the risks that we are all exposed to when it comes to Galamsey, we all know that this is really an existential threat. The Honorable Minister for Land did say somewhere early in the year that they see these miners as environmental terrorists, and so we should treat them as such. I am happy the President is himself acknowledging and publicly declaring that this is a national emergency. What is important here is the response they give to this issue. Because if it is a national emergency and you still drag your feet, take it lightly as we have been experiencing for some time now, then we are not really committing to the fight. So I want to see some new direction, some very decisive action henceforth, because the President himself admits that it is a national emergency. So it's the actions that follow that we are really interested in, and we are all going to pay keen attention to that.
Are there some timelines that we are working with in this our call? And I'm referring to you, not where I say I'm referring to you.
I understand. And I know for this, we have said that in terms of action, it should be now. We are really way behind time. I mean, if you're talking about actions against dealing with impunity in the Galamsey sector, it should have been yesterday. So the President says the national emergency. We want to see him really hit the ground right now and take everything very seriously and act very decisively. We have been dragging our feet for too long, and the business as usual will not help us to address Galamsey as it is now. So it needs to be as early and as soon as yesterday.
Thank you so much for speaking to us, sir.
Thank you so much.
That's Darrell Bosso, his Deputy Director, Arusha, Ghana. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. I know we have some other stories in this field, don't we?
Yes, we do. So the Ghana National Association of Small-Scale Miners is urging government to expand its probe into illegal mining to cover other high-ranking officials of the National Democratic Congress. Addressing the press, National Communications Director of the group, Abdul Razak Al-Hassan, accused members of the NDC of hijacking their mining concessions.
This issue transcends mining. It is a human rights and corruption concern. Across various mining communities in Ashanti, Western North, Upper East, Eastern, Western, and Savannah regions, countless hardworking small-scale miners are being targeted and terrorized by those meant to protect them. Politically exposed persons manipulate security agencies for profit and power, undermining formal small-scale mining activities. Some police officers and other security agencies, sometimes acting under this influence or protection of power, political figures, storm mining sites with impunity, disconfiscate equipment, demand illegal payments, and in some cases, violently eject miners from land they have legally licensed to mine.
National Communications Director of the Ghana National Association of Small-Scale Miners, Abdul Razak Al-Hassan.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Charlie, where are you?
Boss man, I'm at the bank.
Really? But your car is in front of your house.
Bro, my bank on my phone, Charlie.
Oh, how?
EcoBank, bro. With EcoBank mobile app, I can do everything, anywhere, anytime. Listen, I just checked my account balance, paid Ahmed's school fees, and sent money to my grandma at Walwale.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Masa, just download the EcoBank mobile app from the Google Play Store or the App Store, or dial *770# and be your own bank manager.
Manager.
Whether to pay bills or fees, to check account statements
investments, send money across Ghana, abroad, and more. EcoBank mobile app has got it covered. EcoBank Mobile, making everyday people live everyday lives the EcoBank way. EcoBank, the Pan-African bank.
Oh, jump on
Go. Ugomi, at what time will you come back where I don't hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car?
No, I not change my car. It be the same, right? It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so.
This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir.
Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mind, Seth, be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium, they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open there.
Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, then make a finish my gobe fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand my gobe inside?
I give you info. Make a feel the gobe too small.
Go.
Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
You're welcome back. Let's do some more stories. Government has scheduled a meeting with the board of state-owned oil marketing company GOIL PLC following the company's loss of its long-held position as the leading player in Ghana's downstream petroleum sector. This development comes after new data released by the National Petroleum Authority indicated that GOIL has been overtaken by Star Oil in terms of market share. Addressing the media, Minister for Energy and Green Transitions John Jinapo said the meeting is to engage GOIL's leadership on the underlying causes of the decline and to explore strategic interventions to reposition the company for recovery.
Star Oil, to the best of my knowledge, is a Ghanaian company. And so we should encourage Star Oil to grow, just as we encourage GOIL to grow. And we're undertaking some reforms, even in terms of government's commitments and procurements in the sector to ensure that we help GOIL, but also help the other Ghanaian companies, because they also employ Ghanaians. GOIL is a listed company, and so sometimes, even though government has about 80% of the shares, because it's a listed company, when we are directing them, sometimes I have to do it through BOST and the rest because of the issues. But I'm meeting them tomorrow. I'm meeting the GOIL board tomorrow. Tuesday, I want to have a frank and open discussion with them. Their liabilities are quite huge, and it threatens the nation because fuel security is very important. If GOIL goes down, you can.
Minister for Energy and Green Transitions, John Jinapo, they're still on that press conference. Minister of Energy and Green Transition has announced that the Electricity Company of Ghana's board has cancelled more than 202 contracts worth a total of $227 million. According to John Jinapo, an additional 147 contracts are currently under rigorous review and could also face cancellation based on the outcome of the assessment.
I can assure you that we are not going to witness the kind of procurements we witnessed over the years. And as minister, I take full responsibility to ensure that they adhere strictly to some of these measures. So far, 347 supply contracts that have failed to deliver goods within the specific areas are up for review. The goods in these containers were not part of the materials locked up at the ports. These are new containers coming up following procurements that were undertaken previously. They are yet to be delivered. The ECG board has approved the outright termination of 202 of these contracts. The total value of these contracts is estimated at 227 million United States dollars, 1.17 million pounds, 4.08 million euros. The remainder of the 145 contracts are being subjected to additional strict scrutiny and may be terminated depending on the findings. We are determined to ensure that we clean the sector. The ministry has also signed some KPIs with management, and management has also signed KPIs with the regional office and will hold them to account.
The government says it has begun the installation of 23,500 units of all-in-one solar streetlights across the country. According to the Minister of Energy and Green Transition, John Jinapor, the initiative will cover a total of 700 kilometers of roads. This, he said, forms part of the government's street lighting project aimed at enhancing security and promoting renewable energy use nationwide.
As part of our street lighting project, I'm happy to announce that we've commenced the installation of all-in-one solar street lights. We intend to do 23,500 units covering a distance of 700 kilometers so that gradually we can take solar as the main focus and move our street lights away from the grid. The street lights depend largely on the grid, and unfortunately these street lights come on during the peak period. The difference between the peak period and the off-peak period can range around 400 to 600 megawatts. And these street lights alone accounts for more than 200 megawatts. And so if we can take them off and put them on solar systems, it means that we'll be shaving off about 200 to 300 megawatts. And that will contribute significantly towards efficiency in the sector. We are working very hard to also bring some departments, agencies, and government schools and clinics on board by installing solar rooftops. And if we do that, it means that we'll also be bringing about efficiency and reducing the electricity bills of these institutions.
John Jinapor also announced that the government will establish a task force to evacuate the reportedly missing ECG containers.
On the ECG containers, I have received approval from the Chief of Staff, and just this morning I had a very fruitful meeting with the Minister of Finance. All the containers that have been identified so far, we are constituting a task force led by the Deputy Minister of Energy, with Customs, with GRA, with National Security, and all the relevant agencies, ECG, on board that committee. We intend to establish a custom-bonded warehouse where we'd evacuate all the containers to that custom-bonded warehouse, take all the stock and reconcile with all the figures to determine the exact amount of containers that have been retrieved. We'll also go through Cabinet to Parliament for approval to exempt taxation on those containers, because there are some critical items in the containers. ECG will use some. The ministry will also leverage on some of the containers and embark on a massive intensification project when it comes to electricity expansion. It's not just rural extension of electricity. In the cities, some people, new developments, they do not have electricity. We cannot have all these containers stuck there whilst we spend the taxpayers' money to buy additional material.
You heard the Minister of Energy and Green Transition, John Jinapor. Now, President John Dramani Mahama has assured that the stalled Crowthorne Market project will be completed and fully operational by the end of 2026. The market, which was initiated in 2007, has since been abandoned, turning it into a haven for criminals and reptiles. As part of his thank you tour of the Ashanti region, the president inspected the project and pledged that all necessary steps would be taken to ensure its completion and operationalization.
I'm saying I'm mayor Kayan. Sir, a day, a shasiache. And so I Jose, a film 2008, a be a suburb from a basic name, 8 million. Now, Osha campaign, a year, your manifesto, you will be a friend of market enhancement program. Yafa, a job baku 18. Ewo Ghana ha, YBCC. Sunyani Jack home, Techiman Jack home, Mankesim Jack home, and Tibakatre Mayor, say Ontro Emma Vice President, say Vice President, the first argument in us. Now on far grow from market and fan count. If we say the count, a Bema coin abba, send a bear, my memory, and your money now, person will be done. Be a benya baby, atna. Now, almost free quine chain, send ya, Cecia, yetimi hono.
Literally translating what Muhammad said, it is unfortunate that the project hasn't been completed since its commissioning in 2008, but he has directed the Kumasi mayor to write to the office of the vice president to include the Krofo market in the market enhancement program, and that this will ensure that mothers or our mothers get proper trading spaces so they can move from the streets. Meanwhile, the Krofo market queen Adjunehema Nana Sakina praised President Mahama, expressing confidence that he is the only one capable of completing the stalled market projects and supporting market women. She also pledged the traders full support for the NDC government.
If you will be a man who be ya ready for ya the ever home, near Casa home, will be a muay, will be a muay, it's in Nami Mammy Ramadi and Yawaba. As I think as I think, am I for? You were set to for, you ran him a for, a baby and I him idea. Yes, so do any other who, and many we are, by Yamay, the Fasha Yura, and in Ahima, and yes, at the man will yam.
You heard Krofo market queen Adjunehema Nana Sakina saying that the women appreciate his good, President Mahama's good intentions for the country. They are humbly requesting that he expedites the completion of the market project, the Krofo market project, and that they trust in his ability to see through to their benefits.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Get the details. Every significant financial transaction, every market movement, and all the policies that affect your business. Citi Business News. Be informed.
Time now for Citi Business News on Eyewitness News. I am Inu Safa. Let's settle for the details. The Minister of Energy and Green Transition, John Jinapor, has assured the business community of a stable and reliable power supply following the successful rehabilitation of ENI's energy facilities. The key upgrade by ENI to Ghana Gas's infrastructure is expected to provide vital support to Ghana's power generation efforts, contributing to the overall economic growth and industrial development of the country. Speaking during the Government Accountability Series on Wednesday, he noted that contractors are actively working alongside ECG teams to resolve faults across the power distribution network.
When we assumed office during the beginning of the year, has witnessed a remarkable improvement and reliable supply of power. And you can attest to the fact that we are now experiencing reliable, uninterruptible supply of power. This Sunday, when we were undertaking the upgrading of the ENI facility to increase gas production, some people went to town and christened that Sunday as National Doomso Day. Fortunately, through the collaborative effort with all the stakeholders and our technical team, we're able to conduct that operation successfully without switching even 1 megawatt off. And when I went to social media, some people said they were very disappointed. Others said that the Honorable Minister had forgotten that he has to switch the lights off. It all attests to the importance of electricity, and we'll do everything we can to ensure that we build on the gains we've made and consolidate the gains we've made.
You heard the Minister of Energy and Green Transition, John Jinapor. More oil marketing companies have adjusted prices at the pumps upward as the new 1 Ghana Cedi levy per litre energy sector recovery levy takes effect today. The increase marks a reversal of recent price drops recorded earlier in the month. Daniel Sakite has more.
The price hikes were widely anticipated by energy market watchers as the second pricing window of July opened. State-owned GUEL has revised its prices, with a litre of petrol now selling at 12 cedis 88 pesos, up from the 12 cedis 7 pesos. Diesel XP has also increased to 14 cedis 38 pesos from the 13 cedis 20 pesos, while Super XP 95 now retails at 15 cedis 77 pesos per litre. Private player Star Oil has also raised its petrol prices from 10 cedis 99 pesos to 12 cedis 59 pesos per litre following the implementation of the new levy. The pricing trend is expected to influence other oil marketing companies in the coming days. The 1 cedi fuel levy initially faced strong pushback from consumer groups and civil society organizations. Its implementation was postponed to allow for broader stakeholder engagement. Government maintains that proceeds from the new energy sector recovery levy will go towards liquid fuel procurement and servicing energy sector debts.
City News' Daniel Sakite with that report. Meanwhile, Chief Executive Officer of the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies, Dr. Riverson Opon, says it is expected decline at the pumps.
Petroleum prices going up, ideally between the range of 6 to 10%, depending on where you're going to buy your fuel from, and depending on which fuel you're going to buy. Obviously, diesel is going up a bit than petrol. This is due to the effect of the 1 cedi addition. Other than that, the fuel price might have even gone down by 2 to 3%. But due to this addition, we're going to see that increment translate into the S pumps.
Dr. Riverson Opon is Chief Executive Officer of the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies. Now, the government is calling on boards of state-owned entities to uphold high standards of corporate governance as part of efforts to reform and strengthen public enterprises. This call aligns with the upcoming second edition of the Boardroom Governance Summit, scheduled to take place on October 14 this year. Chief of Staff Julius Deborah has reiterated the government's commitment to holding SOE boards accountable.
You need somebody to prompt you, because if you keep doing the same thing over and over and over, you tend to relax. And so we are so excited that Boardroom Governance Summit is coming up, whereby people are really going to discuss, strategize, and see how best to run our institutions, to run our companies, and making people understand that if you are made members of a board, it's not just the prestige of being there, but seeing yourself as the originators of the sources of the institution. Because what management does usually is premise or based on the directions given by the board. And so if members of a particular board are not so familiar with that emboldening power to give direction to the institution will crumble. And so as a nation, once in a while, we have to remind ourselves, what are we doing right and what are we doing wrong? President Mahama intends that all the things that we've been doing, where we feel we are relaxing, we should reinvigorate it.
You heard Chief of Staff Julius Deborah. The Bank of Ghana has announced it will convene an emergency monetary policy committee meeting on Thursday, July 17, 2025, to review recent economic developments. According to the BOG, a policy decision of the committee will be announced on Friday, July 20, after the meeting. Currently, the policy rate stands at 28%. However, with inflation having dropped significantly from over 23% in December 2024 to 13.7% in June 2025, there's growing pressure from businesses and market analysts for rate cuts to support economic recovery and ease the cost of borrowing. There are, however, mixed signals within the MPC regarding a possible rate cut. While some members support easing monetary policy in response to declining inflation, others remain cautious due to external economic risks and recent guidance from the International Monetary Fund. Away from that, civic tech organization Budget Ghana is advocating the need for a simplified guide to the national budget to promote good governance. According to the organization, such a guide will help build an active community of informed citizens who can hold the government accountable and encourage participatory governance throughout the budgetary process. Speaking to the media at a stakeholder engagement workshop in Accra, Country Manager Jennifer Moffat announced the launch of the Citizens Budget, a user-friendly guide to the national budget.
This is a simplified version of the national budget that was read in Parliament by Minister of Finance. What we do at budget is to simplify public data, and one of the public data that we work with is also on the national budget. So today we decided to launch our citizen budget, which is here, and basically the citizen budget is encompassing a lot of things inside the national budget. But what we are looking at is the main points or the main things that are, we say, everyday Ghanaians should know about, like what is our revenue for the year, how much money are we expecting that the Ghana Revenue Authority will be able to get for development purposes. What is also our expenditure? How much money is government looking forward to expend? Aside that, what are some of the priority areas government is putting so much money? And all that is in the simplified version. And as you can see, there is this QR code version part here, which will lead you to our website where you can access the main document or the main analysis, which is more in-depth and also comes with other, would I say, information that you wouldn't on the normal get inside the citizen budget.
Jennifer Moffat is the country manager for Budget Ghana. Government has reaffirmed its commitment to allocate 25% of the District Assembly Common Fund towards the design and construction of 24-hour economy model markets across the country. The initiative, aimed at enhancing commercial activity at the local level, is expected to create more trading opportunities for local businesses, boost productivity, and stimulate inclusive economic growth. Speaking at the opening session of the Evidence to Action Conference and Exhibition, the Minister for Local Government, Ahmed Ibrahim, stressed the importance of integrating evidence-based research into policy making to ensure that such interventions are well targeted and impactful.
The Minister is currently pursuing this agenda with all local authorities by dedicating 25% of the District Assembly Common Fund allocation to be utilized to construct a modern state-of-the-art 24-hour economy market. And a directive has been given to all the MMDs to make sure 25% of all the DACF given to them each year is dedicated to the 24-hour economy market at the local level. And 80% of all the DACF should go direct to all the MMDs. Out of that, the 25% will be used for this market. It is emphasized that these markets will reflect our culture and respond to the needs and aspirations of our market women and the local businesses. Distinguished participants, clearing from the aforementioned laudable programs and projects, coupled with substantial financial resources being transferred to the local authorities.
You heard the Minister for Local Government, Ahmed Ibrahim. And that's all for City Business News on Eyewitness News. I am Inu Safo. Up next is Point Blank.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Hey, so as for you, every day you are just pressing your phone. Why? Are they paying you?
They are, Oma.
Eh?
The more I use my MTN, the more points I get. And I can use those points to get airtime, data, and even discounts at shops and restaurants.
Hey, so that is why all of you are always pressing your phones. And you won't tell us, so that way too we can enjoy some.
Oh, ma.
There's always more to enjoy with MTN Rewards. Just keep talking, testing, and browsing all day, every day to collect your points and use it to redeem amazing offers and discounted freebies right away. There's so much available for you. So dial *550# and get your reward today. Let's go everywhere you go.
Kweku, have you heard what they are doing on MTN?
Life doesn't always go as planned. Maybe you dreamed of earning a degree, but something got in the way. Losing a parent, financial struggles, or life just happening. But what if I told you it's not too late? At Cracks Training Institute, we believe in second chances. With the ABE Level 6 program, your dreams are back within reach. If you hold an HND or a 2-year diploma and have valuable work experience, this is your opportunity. The ABE Level 6 is recognized by Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, GTEC, and equivalent to a bachelor's degree. But that's not all. It also qualifies you to enroll in any university in Ghana for a master's degree. And here's the good news. Admissions start this August. This is your moment. Don't let it pass you by. Take the first step towards rewriting your story. Call us today at Crux Training Institute on 0552 222217, 0552 222217, or visit crux.edu.gh.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Are you feeling tired after a hard day's work? Have you lost your appetite even for your favorite dish? Viral Blood Tonic is a nutritionally balanced, pleasant-tasting tonic fortified with iron and vitamins to boost your appetite and energy levels for high performance. Viral Blood Tonic, easy to take and good for the family. Viral from Danex Iting Starwin PLC. If symptoms persist after 48 hours, consult a physician. This advert is FDA approved.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
This is Point Blank on Eyewitness News. I am Umaru Sandamadu. Tonight on Point Blank, the House of Parliament is discussing or debating what happened in Ablekuma North. We'll be crossing over to get excerpts of that debate. But before then, let me read for you a letter that the Attorney General has written to the EOCO board. He has directed the Executive Director of EOCO to investigate two officials who are members of the NDC. One of them, Joseph Yamin, National Organizer of the NDC, and the other person, Yakubu Abanga. He is a Vice Chairman of the National Democratic Congress. The Attorney General is asking EOCO to investigate these persons in relation to matters having to do with illegal mining. So let's speak to one of them, Yakubu Abanga, who is Vice Chairman of the National Democratic Congress. He's joined us on the line. Chairman, you're welcome to Eyewitness News. We've seen this letter from the Attorney General saying that you should be investigated by EOCO. Has it come to your attention, and what's your comment if you have seen it?
Good evening, Umaru, and thank you very much for the opportunity. Yes, I also saw it in the media, but as of today, I have not received any official communication from the EOCO. Or should I be invited, I will avail myself and assist in any way necessary to bring clarity to the matter, brother.
But it's suggesting that you may have done something wrong, for which reason you are being investigated. Unlawful mining activities, one of the phrases that I've seen in the letter.
Yes.
Are you a miner? What have you done?
Let me state categorically clear that I have never been involved in any illegal mining activities at any point in my life or behind any task force that is said to be extorting money from miners. These allegations are baseless, malicious, and calculated attempts to tarnish my hard-earned reputation, my brother.
The reason it is a big deal is that is the Attorney General, who is a member of your party, who is referring you for investigations. Prior to this, have you had any Has anyone invited you, either at the Attorney General's Department or the President, or anybody spoken to you about what you may or may not have done in mining?
Nobody has called me yet. I also saw it in the media through TV3 yesterday. Also, my way home, when my wife called me, that, babe, what is going on? I said, what is going on? He said, go to WhatsApp. I checked. And I saw there was a directive from the Attorney General calling Iyoko to investigate myself and the national organizer, Honorable Jamin, relating to Galamsey illegal mining activities, which I know nothing about. Hands are clean, my brother, and I am prepared to avail myself for any scrutiny. And I have also said, putting on my position online, the National Vice Chairman position online, that should at any point in time that anybody is able to provide credible evidence that I have sent a task force to extort money from miners or sent excavator to the forest reserve or water bodies to destroy our lands, degrade lands and destroy our lands, then I'll resign as the National Vice Chairman of the party. But I hold my integrity very high. And I guard my integrity very jealously that I will not sit down for anybody to impugn it. Who know me for a very long time will tell you who Abanga is. Someone who comes from a very humble beginning. And whatever I have, I am content with. And as a young government that assumed office 7 months ago, my focus as a vice chairman is to assist in any capacity, advise the government at any point in time that our campaign promises should be fulfilled, so that it makes our next election in 2028 easier. There are a lot of teeming youth who are unemployed, who are looking for jobs. As party leaders who decided not to, particularly me, I decided not to go into government, but to serve the party. It's our duty to lobby government officials to ensure that the many young people who do not have jobs get access to jobs. That is my duty and focus. And you can testify that we are doing very well as a government now. We took over from a very shambolic economy that at the point the dollar was trading at 17 Ghana cedis. Today, as we speak, the dollar is 10 Ghana cedis. We took over an economy at the point that a bag of rice was 750 to 800. Today, a bag of rice is around 403, between 400 and 350. And a 25-liter oil at the time when we took over was 1,000 Ghana cedis. And as we speak, the good work of His Excellency the President of the Republic has ensured through the Finance Minister and the Administrative, the Economic Management team, as we speak, a 25-liter gallon of oil is 450 Ghana cedis instead of the 1,000 Ghana cedis we met. So these are the significant gains that we have, progresses that we've made, and the successes that we've chalked. And I think as a party, we should be happy with it, and not to engage in trivialities and whatever. Of course, the Attorney General rushed in issuing that directive. That is why I have said that at any point, whoever have any evidence against me, Abanga Yakubu Hassan, that have in any way sent any excavator to a forest reserve to destroy our forest reserves or to pollute our water bodies, or has sent a task force to extort money, they come with clear evidence. And I will resign as a national vice chairman of the party. Because this is about reputation matter, Umaru. It's not about Abanga alone, but it's about the integrity and the future of my political career.
You have spoken about reputation and integrity, and you've also spoken about the goodwill of your government. This statement from your own Attorney General would to some extent affect the goodwill of the government and also affect your own reputation. How would you deal with this to cleanse your image? Because, I mean, again, it would be like dog bite dog.
Yes, Umaru, for instance, the number that was under the said fake or whatever concocted stories press release, the Momo number that I have is 0244254231, which is registered to one Roland Agudogo, not Andrews Aban, as stated in the press release. This mismatch exposes a clear case of impersonation and deceit. Therefore, it's just a plan just to tarnish my heart and reputation, Umaru.
Who do you think
I will not sit down.
Who do you think is coming after you?
Umaru, I've told you we're a young government, and my focus is to, support the government. So I think.
Very well.
There's also a wise saying that the wind may blow, but it cannot uproot, a mountain. This is just short.
Let's leave it here then. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, my brother. God bless you.
That's Yakubu Abanga Al-Hassan. He is Vice Chairman of the National Democratic Congress. And for those who are wondering, Abanga, yes, there's an MPP version, Abanga Ubedi Peche. They're actually twins, but this is a Vice Chairman of the NDC. He and Mr. Joseph Yamin have been referred to the IOCO for investigation by the Attorney General. You've heard him there saying if anything is found, he is ready to sacrifice his vice chairmanship slot of the party. Let's go to Parliament now, shall we? The House is debating after a statement was made by Minority Leader Alex Afenyo-Markin on what happened in Ablekuma North. Let's listen to what's transpiring there.
Mr. Speaker, permit me to highlight some of the deeply disturbing incidents. First, at St. Peter's Society Methodist Church polling station, a group of thugs stormed the premises on motorbikes and in vehicles. Honorable Hawa Kumsin, a former member of parliament, was physically assaulted in broad daylight. Our parliamentary candidate, Nana Ekuo-Wusu-Efriye, sustained some injuries to her face. Former MP, Daquan Newman, and several other MPP party agents were also attacked. Electoral officials fled. Voters were terrorized. At Awoshi DVLA polling station, individuals dressed in brown uniform impersonated security personnel to gain access and misled voters until they were confronted and they failed in that instance to provide any form of identification. Elsewhere, including Asiedu Jedu Memorial School, confrontation between thugs and police officers created chaos and endangered lives. Even journalists were not spared, Mr. Speaker. A Joy News reporter and GH1 TV's Ajekum Banahine were attacked. In fact, a police officer assaulted the latter while on duty. Mr. Speaker, this is a direct attack on press freedom and the right of citizens to be informed. These were not isolated events. This was a deliberate orchestration of violence across multiple polling stations. And what is even more troubling, Mr. Speaker, is that some officials have not only failed to condemn these acts, but have celebrated them openly and publicly. Mr. Speaker, for those public officers who have endorsed this political violence, I say that is a breach of public trust and a dangerous precedent that undermines Ghana's democratic foundation. Equally disturbing are the growing concerns about the negligence of the Ghana Police Service. Allegations have surfaced implicating Chief Superintendent Lumo Frederick Senanu in facilitating this act. Whether by omission or commission, the police service failed to protect lives and the sanctity of the electoral process in Ablekuma North. Mr. Speaker, Ghana's democracy is at crossroads. We must not allow this descent into lawlessness to define our politics. That is why the Minority Caucus demands the following. 1, a full-scale investigation into the matter, a full-scale prosecution of individuals that will be identified as perpetrators of the violence, a clear and unambiguous condemnation of the violence from government, including apologies to those who were particularly victimized. Chris Lloyd Ni-Kwe, the Deputy National Organizer, Hawa Kumsin, and our candidate Nana Ekuo-Efriye. Mr. Speaker, we must not allow political violence to become normalized. Ghana's democracy must not be turned into a battlefield. The time to act is now. To the people of Ablekuma, do not be cowed into silence. The right to vote is sacred and must never be trampled by fear or force. To civil society and all defenders of democracy, your voices are needed now than ever. The Minority Caucus, Mr. Speaker, will continue to use every constitutional means available to it to protect Ghana's democratic order and ensure that no political actor ever weaponizes violence for electoral advantage again. Mr. Speaker, our country, Ghana, stands at a crossroads. Government must choose: uphold democratic values or shelter those who undermine them. The choice government makes in the coming days will define this government's legacy and the direction of our democracy. May God bless Ghana and strengthen our republic. And Mr. Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute to the statement ably made by the minority leader. Mr. Speaker, in the first place, I wish to first of all condemn all forms of violence, no matter where and no matter what time. Mr. Speaker, it's most unfortunate that this is the first time that I have heard, and it's my fourth time in Parliament, that after the numerous electoral violence that has occurred in this country, this is a special one. Mr. Speaker, I would have stayed out mentioning my sister's name, Hawa Kumsi, but once her name is on the statement and it has been mentioned, I will do that. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Hawa Kumsi knows it very well that apart from the atrocities that have ever occurred in her own constituency, where lives were lost, she knows it very well that if she went to that election, that very election, and came out without any problem, it will all have been coming from her attitude. And yet, I was shocked when I learned that she used pepper spray. Pepper spray! And I saw it being sprayed. I saw her actually spraying it. Mr. Speaker, on the video, I looked at it more than 5-6 times, and I saw her actually spraying. I was shocked because I observed and listened to people talking and saying that, oh, that's a woman, that is a lady, we shouldn't do that, we shouldn't do this, we are not respecting women. Yes. We are all trying as much as I can to make sure that women are respected everywhere. But you, as a woman, you must first of all respect yourself. You must make sure that you know and live as someone who is ready to support and protect life as a woman. Because if you say because you are a woman, you go spraying pepper, were you going to select the women there so that the pepper doesn't get into their eyes? What about the children? Were you going to select them? What about the officers that we are now talking about? Were you going to select them? Because any pepper spray that is gushed out will not go to select anybody. And yet this is what happened. Unfortunately, it comes from no other person but a woman. Unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, Are we saying that this is the first time that we have had such a problem? This is not the first time. I was a victim at Etiwa. Etiwa by election, I was a victim. I ran like it's no one's business back to Accra. So, it's not the first time. I never heard a word being uttered. Mr. Speaker, Chechiman South, what did we not see? What lives have we not lost? Lives, we lost lives. We lost life. What investigations have been done? What investigations? Who has been brought to book? What have we done to make sure that at least Ghanaians know that once we are running a democracy, we do not want such atrocities? What have we done? Nothing. Were those who not human beings, were they not Ghanaians, were they not voters? Don't they have the right to life? And yet we haven't heard anything up to date. Mr. Speaker, we witnessed even our own colleague.
Mr. Speaker, this must not be business as usual. I have witnessed and I have heard a number of atrocities being committed in the country. We have had by-elections at Talensi. We had had by-elections at Tripoli. Mr. Speaker, and I was an eyewitness of the by-election that we held at Atiwa, the then Atiwa constituency, on 31st of August 2010. Yes, I was so in other places. Mr. Speaker, I can speak to what I have witnessed. I was at Atiwa and I saw with my naked eyes that thugs were in a bus. And the main thing they were doing were to go around and beat people just to prevent others to come and vote. The person you were beating could be your brother. The person could be your sister, or it could be anybody. Mr. Speaker, we must come together as one people and fight this. When things had gone on in this house, we made a law. And we made a law that we have to dismantle vigilantes. After the passage of the law, it still continues. Mr. Speaker, I was in this house when he heard a statement like, violence begets violence. I wouldn't want to remind anybody of names, but I am saddened because we try to justify this unholy act in the name of elections. We try to justify because in the name of elections, people are dying and we don't care. In the name of elections, people are injured and we don't care. Mr. Speaker, I am glad that the minority leader requests that there must be a full-scale investigation into this. Mr. Speaker, with you, Mr. Speaker, I need your protection.
The Member of Parliament seeking the protection of the Speaker, and I also seeking the protection of my clock. It's actually the end of Eyewitness News tonight. I am Umaru Sandamado. I did this with Eno Safo. Production by Kwabena Wilson, Beverly London, Sami Wiafin, and Juliana Odami Osari. Daniel Squashi helped us with the technical production. Yamano Usu and the new media team helped us with the social media side. Thank you for listening. Eyewitness News will be back tomorrow at 17:30 GMT, inshallah. Thank you for listening and have a good night.